tournament use that Dolphins defense.
So gentlemen's agreement, they'll set their audibles. If this is your first time watching Madden NFL 20 on a competitive level, they're trying to set up their audibles so they don't have to worry about that as they go throughout the game, and they can just focus on the game plan. He'll start the drive at the 30-yard line for Civil, the man representing the Buccaneers, and they've certainly gone all in on social media. They want to see their guy make his way to the final. Got to get past the Saints, and Nickhacko first. He'll sling it to the outside, and there is Diggs at the 39.
And this guy's Civil. I want to call out, this is a busy guy. He works with that Ace Madden crew. He's also a sophomore at Western Michigan University. He works 30 hours a week for FedEx, and he's able to play Madden at this high level.
And there's Johnson. That was like a shovel pass. He's working up the sideline, a little stop and go, and he decides to run out of bounds at the 28.
And you know, that was a really good play by Civil, because he could have easily jukeboxed into that defender, realizes Chris Johnson has that speed, doesn't waste the ability, just gets up the field.
You hear a lot of hip-hop in Madden. It's one of the first country music guys we've had. Whatever works. Aikman, and Diggs will just lay down at the 24.
And I asked Civil, we see him singing along the whole time. I said, bro, what is in the playlist? He said, I got some Luke Combs, some Morgan Wallen, some Thomas Rhett. I mean, I don't know who these guys are, but he's all in on them. He said his main track he needs is Whiskey Glasses by Morgan Wallen. That's his jam.
Add him to iTunes. Here we go, 2nd and 6 at the 24. My music is kind of whack. I'm the kind of guy that'll listen to George Strait, but also rock New Edition. I'm all over the place. I'm messed up.
And a really good decision for him to just throw that ball away right there. There was nothing open down the field. Just throw it away, live to fight another day.
So 3rd and 6. Ball at the 24. Here on this opening drive for Civil. This is as far as either of these guys have ever been. And the MCS, Aaron, a diving grab there by Hill at the 19. And it's going to be 4th and inches.
This gets scary, though. He's got all those guys in the box.
And he'll lean for it, and it will be a first down.
It's a big first down right there from Civil. And looking at the stats, you got Civil. Nobody passes the ball more than him. He is #1 in pass attempts. And when you're dealing with Hacko, he's top 3 in sending the blitz. So look for him to eventually send the goons and not give Troy Aikman time to just sit in this pocket. If you're Hacko, you got to get after Aikman and play to your strengths, which has been that blitz.
Both these guys trying to go over 20 grand in their Madden earnings. As Aikman will get sacked up back at the 25.
Come on, man.
And you know, this playbook has 33 shotgun formations, but he runs that gun A slot offset almost every single play. We see him audible to some other formations, but it's only for the jet sweep pass. He's going to stick around in this formation no matter what the down and distance is.
You know, the AFC has been the veterans. The NFC has been the newcomers. And they're on a collision course here in San Francisco. Aikman here on 2nd down, and Troy gets it to Ingram, the speedy tight end, and he'll get back to the original line of scrimmage. Here's 3rd and 10.
It's a very manageable situation for Civil. If you want to pick up this first down, you would much rather get 7 than settle for 3 here. But if you don't pick up this first down, you're more than likely going to just have to take your points. There's no one on the outside right there. This guy's by himself.
Yeah, who's got Diggs? Hacko doesn't seem concerned. And he'll motion him in. Aikman with time. And we got a field goal coming up. Gonna go down as a sack.
I like both of these guys' attire. So he kicks this field goal. I'm just going to put that out there. It's a little chilly in here, Scott. Both guys are hoodied up. Hacko's got the Scully. That's good preparation, not just on the sticks, but in your uniform as well.
Something tells me Civil would have a cowboy hat on or something if he could fit the Bose headset over top.
For sure. You think they'd ever let us hoodie up here? It's a little nippy.
It would be a plus up from the polo.
See what you did there.
We're getting in the holiday season here.
I went for it too.
Maybe some Madden ugly sweaters. So 1st and 10 at the 34 after the opening drive yields a field goal for Civil. Mentioned both these guys just getting started in their MCS career. Nickhacko with 14 wins, while Civil got his 13th win earlier today.
And you know, we see Nickhacko in that West Coast playbook. Normally you think gun bunch, but this guy likes to run this I-form wing, I-form tight, and try to get Chris Johnson out in space.
Yeah, I talked to User after the game. He said, gee, I knew he was in West Coast, but I had no idea he was going to go to that single back doubles, hit me with some stretch. I wasn't prepared for it. And again, that's just good lab work with Hacko. Just because you're in a playbook with some popular formation doesn't mean you can't go to some of those other formations and learn how to run them to catch your opponent off guard. And Hacko has done that in this West Coast playbook and had success because of it.
Well, you saw his struggles on the ladder. He certainly has probably run into games where, you know, those meta formations just didn't pan out for him as he hands it off Chris Johnson, and he goes nowhere. Scott Cole, Serious Mo, RG with you. It's a huge ball game between Civil and Nickhacko. And how ridiculous is tomorrow going to be as the first quarter comes to a close? We got some juggernauts, some titans of Madden that are going to grab the sticks tomorrow.
You could argue the 4 biggest names in the game will be playing tomorrow.
On the AFC side.
On the AFC side.
That's a lot of belts floating around on just one side of the bracket.
And remember, these guys are fighting for the right to be able to play tomorrow. And though they're playing for $10,000 right now, they've each made 10. They're trying to make 20. Once they're in those games tomorrow, your first game's a $20,000 game of Madden. You have a chance to double up from 20 to 40,000. So each one of these games just grants that much more opportunity for you. And you don't get much opportunities like this in life. You have to take advantage.
Good timeout there by Civil. It looked like we were going to see a stretch on 3rd and 10. You know, he aired it out the last 2 plays, but it looked like we might have seen a stretch right there. Excuse me, just the last play.
So it'll be a 3rd and 10.
Civil comfortable just staying in this 3-4 overhead, a formation we don't see a lot of, dropping in coverage.
Wilson looking on 3rd down, and right over the middle of the field, and that should be enough for the first down.
It looked like his middle linebacker could have made a play, but he just dropped a little too far back, and Hacko able to squeeze it in there.
Still got one more matchup coming your way to close out the day. It'll be Voltarax taking on Trey Kings. Woo. That is going to be a run fest. You can get your t-shirt in the lobby.
And how about Trey Kings just coming up out of nowhere, placing top 16 in the first 2 majors? That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's a good point, Mo. Many forget that Trey Kings had a good run at the Madden Classic, and you thought maybe he would just fade away, and he just came right back to the club championship, picked up where he started, and now has a chance to make some real guap.
And he finished 9th back in Arlington, so looking forward to that one with the sultry sounds of Nick and Tyler Davis. Might be a little salt in the wounds to have TD still hanging out in the NFC West.
Lift down, Montez. Come on, we got you there for a reason. You a big boy.
Here comes a big play coming up, 2nd and 8. Yeah, they're going to say you got a gain of 2 before Montez Sweat wrapped him up.
And you could tell Nickhacko's just not all that comfortable on offense right now, going to a bunch of different formations. And, you know, I think we'll probably see a run play versus this 3-4 bear. He doesn't look like he wants to pass versus it. And Civil looks very uncomfortable versus this formation as well, audibling to some coverage defense. We don't see a lot of that in the 3-4 bear.
This is the stretch he had a lot of success with versus User. Oh, no, he's going to check out of it.
He'll bunch it up to the left side.
Great chess match being played right now.
John Ross solo to the right. Tyreek will join him. Wilson. And he'll just throw it away. There's just nothing downfield, all bagged up.
I saw what he wanted right there. He was looking for the check and release route to his tight end. where it's a delay route, and you can kind of tell the tight end went to go out into the open space, but the tight end kind of got stuck on his lineman, but there was room there if he didn't. So look for Hacko to go back to that delay route later in the game, especially when you're not getting blitzed.
And Civil's going to have to stop coming on this 3-4 bear, because I promise he doesn't want to sit in cover 3.
Oh, yeah,
He'll
CJ.
stretch it. He'll make a
yeah,
move.
CJ.
First down, a little bit more. One man to beat, and Troy Apke saves the day.
And I can't believe he broke that tackle. I don't know if Civil didn't click on and use or tackle him. It looked like that might have been a secure tackler.
It was a secure tackler, Mo, but I believe that was a juke, so he got the fake out animation instead of the broken tackle animation. Had he had tackle supreme or unfakeable, that's a tackle right there. But since it's only secure tackler, the jukebox was able to counter it. He was able to get on his horse.
RG with no part of the development team down there in Orlando. Timberon and Troy Apke nearly got shook loose.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I would recover from that.
You know,
That was a scary moment.
It's really scary when you're trying to tackle that Chris Johnson with the jukebox. He can shake off at any moment, and he's going to be way faster than anybody you got on your defense. So that was extremely scary. It looked like he might have broke free for a touchdown right there, but luckily for Civil, able to make a gang tackle and wrap him up for only 3-yard gain.
I'm not sure either of these guys look comfortable, and rightfully so. This is the biggest game of Madden they've ever played.
And you know, that's what I love to see. You know, it's really beautiful when both players look uncomfortable, you know, because it really brings out the best Madden. We're not going to see, you know, the same plays over and over again. We're going to have to see people really dig deep and find a way to win this game.
2nd and 7 now. Inside field goal range. We're coming up on the 2-minute warning as Chris Johnson breaks it to the second level. And he's going to be in the red zone at the 13.
And I want to say, Scott, that's just not any Chris Johnson. That's the fully powered up 95 overall Chris Johnson, who gets up to 96 speed with that power up and sprinter cam. So like Mo said, when he starts moving, it is scary because there's likely nobody on the field that could catch him unless you have that full Deion Sanders.
High formation. Hester off to the left side.
12.
Here at the 2-minute warning in a 3-point game. Chris Johnson once again, and they won't get him.
No. Come on,
Hacko takes the lead.
And it looks like Civil has no answer for that halfback dive. You were seeing him, he's trying to run that same defense that Decroft runs, getting in the gap right there with his linebacker, but that DN's just not able to shoot in and make the tackle. He's going to have to make an adjustment because I think Nickhacko has figured out that defense.
Nickhacko is his government name and his gamer tag.
Come on, man. Lock up.
Yeah, I asked him about that, Scott. He said, you know what, I was trying to come up with a nickname, but there was nothing that I knew I would stick with. He said, one thing I knew I'm going to stick with is my actual name, so he went Nickhacko.
There's that CJ once again. That speed is out of control.
And when you have Apke at the free safety, he's just not going to be able to make those tackles securely like we see with Troy Polamalu and Pat Tillman.
Got these guys wired up. I can't wait to listen to them at the half. Under 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Aikman will just throw it away.
And you know, Civil doesn't really have a high-powered offense. He has a very good offense, but it's not plays that gain a bunch of yards in quick amount of time. So he's got to work the ball down the field. If Nickhacko plays some coverage defense, it's going to be really tough for Civil to get points before halftime.
Averaging about 200 yards per game, with a 166 of that coming through the air. He leads all our competitors in passing attempts per game. This is a dink and dunk for sure.
He's got him.
And leads them up, and Evan Ingram can't drag the toes.
And it looked like he could have had a touchdown there if he throws it a little bit earlier and give Evan Ingram a little bit more field to work with on that sideline.
Saw the replay there. He was actually well out of bounds. 3rd and 10.
This is big, guys, because if Civil doesn't get this, he needs to consider punting, which will give Hacko another possession before the end of this half. Huge play right here at the end of the second quarter.
Aikman. Civil looking. He'll throw that into coverage. And Troy Polamalu. Long hair, don't care.
Great lurk by Nickhacko. And Nickhacko looks like a well-poised Madden player. You know, this is a kid that used to be in Twitch chats just watching Joel CP play all the time, and now he's making a name for himself. looking like one of the best players left in this tournament.
And that's cool, Mo, that you mentioned that, because I asked him, I said, what got you into it? And it's literally just watching guys we've seen here. He said watching Problem on Twitch, watching Joel on Twitch. And he was just a regular Madden player, then he applied himself, and here he is now trying to secure the $20,000 bag in complete control right now in this NFC South Championship game against Civil.
Coming up on a minute to go here in the first half. He does still have all 3 timeouts. Wilson will get under center, and that goes nowhere, Mo.
Yeah, just great run defense right there. And it looks like Hacko's okay with, going up by 7 right here. I wouldn't expect him to force anything. He can't afford to lose very much yardage. He's already at the 35-yard line, which is a field goal he can make. But if he loses 3 or 4 yards, he's not going to be able to make that field goal any longer.
See how he plays this. If he goes conservative, does he get greedy and go for the gusto? I think he's reading your mind, Mo. It's looking conservative right here.
He's on the edge of field goal range here at the 35.
This is a run 100 out of 100 times.
Yeah, let that clock wind all the way down like that.
And Johnson, I think, lost a yard.
He's still going to be in field goal range, but it's a little bit tougher. You got to kick it perfectly.
He does have Steven Gostkowski, and this is right down Main Street, and it has the distance. 9 seconds to go now in the half, and the lead is 7. 10 unanswered by Nickhacko.
And he's going to be getting the ball back at halftime. So if you're Civil, you got to find a way to stop that run coming out of the second half.
Just 7 seconds to go now. No timeouts for Civil.
You got to think this is just jet touch pass time right here for Civil. He's going to give it to one of his wide receivers and hope they can break a big one. If you're Hacko, you just can't let that happen right here. You have played too good in this first half to give up something. Only 7 seconds left here. Yep, here comes this touch pass.
And he'll hand it off. Chris Johnson, little stop and go. And he can't stop the clock. And so the first half will come to an end. The lead is with Nickhacko. 10-3. The differential is just 7. And I mentioned before, we got these guys wired up at the club.
Call my name into his legacy. I play some of the worst Madden I've played in a minute, though. I really am. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, B-King. Come on, man. D-Man, come on. Come on, man. Put him down, Montez. Come on, we got you there for a reason. You a big boy. Come on. That secure ain't gonna stop it. I promise you it's not. I promise it's not.
Well, it's a 7-point game, and you've seen Troy P make some plays. You want to have an opportunity to maybe get him on your squad. You need to link your EA account with Twitch to receive Twitch drops and have a chance to win an exclusive Troy Polamalu Madden Club Championship reward. And I know there's a lot of folks in that Twitch chat hoping and praying for that Troy P. I'll get a shout out to those out on YouTube and on the Twittersphere. As we start the second half, Scott Cole, Serious Mo, 2-time belt winner, and RG probably won a wing eating contest one time.
You be discrediting a lot of my Madden credibility. I know it's been like a decade since I've been tough, but I was tough at one point, bro.
Hey, Techers is from London. At one point, you went over and played Madden in London.
I represented our country in London and brought back the trophy. If that's not Al Bundy-type glory, I don't know what is.
10-3.
And a lot of players, once they get down, they stop singing their lyrics. We're not going to see that out of Civil. Clearly, he's just enjoying life like a good little country boy.
And you know what? Let this play go real quick.
As Wilson gets to the outside here.
Great lurk.
And it's right to Shazier. And that might be what gets Civil back in the game.
That was a great lurk there by Civil. If you're Nickhacko, you ran the ball so effectively. How do you let 1 2-yard loss stop you from going right back to the run game? But Civil, great adjustment there. Comes down with a sick lurk with Shazier.
One turnover apiece now as Aikman will hand it off. Misdirection. Jukebox time, and so close. They'll mark him down at the 1.
And the point I wanted to make, Scott, this guy, Civil, isn't going to get discouraged like Mo said. He said, you know what, I come from a place where we don't get a lot of opportunities. He said, just being able to come out here, travel, and get the experience means the world to me. And if you don't think I'm going to leave it all out on the virtual gridiron, you have judged me wrong. And he's showing why right now as he continues to battle against Hacko. He's going to look to tie this game up right here.
Go live formation. Here come the Hefties. I'm not sure why maybe he doesn't have Chris Johnson at fullback. He'll hand it off. And why not just jukebox your way in and pin in the PAT, Mo. We got a game.
Yeah, and he said, and now we fight after he lurked him with Shazier. And that's exactly what's going to have to happen.
It's up, and it is good. Just took 2 plays after the turnover to get back into it. And we got a 10-10 ball game all of a sudden here in the second half with just under 9 minutes to go in the game. Goes out of nowhere. It's a loose ball, and Tyreek saved a disaster on the kickoff.
I don't want to win like that.
Wow, let's take a look at the play that set up the touchdown. This is right to Shazier.
And look at Shazier. He's guarding the corner route, but he snaps off of it, comes back on the in route. Just a great, great defensive play there by Civil.
The funny thing about Civil on that fumble, he said, I don't even want it like that.
He's lying to you, RG, I promise.
He'll take it however he can get it, Mo.
And there's Hester coming all the way across the field to make the grab at the 34.
And that's his second completion with Russell Wilson, but for much of this game, he was controlling the game the entire time, running the ball. Interested to see him go right to the pass on the first down after he's been running the ball so effectively, but now we see him back in that I-form twin tight end.
He was up a touchdown with getting the ball to start the third quarter. He was in control, but a turnover has made it a game.
Here's my favorite play, that stretch X-alert lookie.
And he'll hand it off to Chris Johnson, and they'll contain him on the edge.
And we don't see a lot of people run that 3-4 overhead, but Civil has found something. It looks like he has pretty good coverage defense versus gun bunch, and he's found a way to stop the run out of those I-form formations as well. I like this adjustment by Civil.
Wilson goes to the gun. Ross on the outside, the speedster.
He's going to need a block shed here. Otherwise, somebody's going to get wide open.
He has him.
He's going up top. John Ross will haul it in. It's a touchdown for Hacko.
And if you thought this guy, Nickhacko, was going to lay down, you thought wrong. This is a guy that came here with his other lab partners, AKG, BG Fam, Kritobin, and you know what? They're all out of the tournament. He's the last one left, trying to represent from his homies, trying to represent for the family, trying to put on for Beaver, Pennsylvania. And so far, so good as he goes back and takes the lead in this $10,000 game of Madden.
Take a look at it again, Mo.
Busted
John
coverage.
Ross is speeding.
Yeah, it looked like Troy Polamalu just came too far down in the box. He was in a deep zone, but he bumped into his user, and that's why he just got completely burnt. Troy Polamalu is not going to be able to keep up with John Ross anyways.
And how about the Mo Romo on that one? He told us, he said, if he doesn't get a block shed, it's going to be trouble. And trouble it was.
Good rip-off there by Chris Johnson. There's a lot of speed on the field.
Again, though, it's going to take a lot to discourage Civil. One of the quotes I have from him, he says, you know what, G, being positive means everything to me. I'm not a guy that's going to go on tilt. So let's see, he's going to get put to the test right here in the biggest game of his life as he's down 7 late in this third quarter.
6 carries, 51 yards. Now for Civil. That brings up a 2nd and 5.
And it looks like he might have found something with this run play right here. Looks like he's having some holes almost every single time he runs it. Look for the bubble screen as well.
Aikman, good call, partner. He swings it outside of Tyreek Hill and easily picks up the first down.
Yeah, once he got control on that safety on that side where the bubble's at, there was no one left to guard it. Great recognition there by Civil.
So that'll bring up a 1st and 10 at the 44. Aikman once again hands it to
Come on. This ain't it.
Chris Johnson, but can't get away. Maybe a yard.
And you know, I don't think he let Chris Johnson get back healthy right there. I think he might have been running with him a little bit tired. You know, he probably could have got a few yards there if he was fully energized, but he's being a little impatient right now. He needs to settle down. There's still a ton of time left in this game, and you still control your own fate on offense.
Chris Johnson was the 2009 Offensive Player of the Year. It's back when RG was good at Madden. Am I doing better, G?
Yeah, that was around
Is that better?
time.
All right. Aikman gets it out to Hill, and that'll be enough for the 1st down.
And I'll be honest, I was around in Madden 09. It had to be some time before that when RG was good at Madden.
Get out of here. Y'all are just ruthless, man. I won a challenge in 09. I even beat Evil O in the final game. I mean, that just shows how tough Evil O is to still be around.
So we got a 2nd and 13. I mean, Justin Chow was way better.
Chow was tough. Chow was tough.
So a loss of 3 as we start the 4th quarter. Put your 4s up. We're having a good time. Hope you guys are as well. As we still got one more match to come. Volterax and Trey Kings. And there's that pass lead. And I'll take it to the...
Come on, man.
No, he's going to be called incomplete as you see him dancing along the sideline there. So it'll be a 3rd and 13 now.
And it looks like he missed the post for a touchdown, and now he's got himself in a really tough situation. Going back to that same exact play.
Big 3rd down. Picks up the blitz. Sets his feet and fires.
Dion.
And
oh my gosh, bro.
it won't be an INT.
Oh.
Fortunate play there for Civil. He's got to go ahead and take his points and play defense. Luckily, he didn't turn it over right there because that should have been picked off in bounds. Dion not able to get his feet in.
Kick is up and just over the crossbar. The 52-yarder brings him within 4.
And the 3 points is big right there because now all you got to make sure is Hacko doesn't get a touchdown here, and you'll guarantee yourself to get a possession back to either take the lead or at least tie the ball game up. But the one thing you can't let up here if you're Civil is that touchdown. A field goal is manageable. A touchdown could end this game if you're Hacko.
4:43 to go. I formation. Shazier will motion out. And Johnson cuts it back inside and makes something out of nothing.
And it looked like Civil actually blitzed his cornerback right there. Well, that's why he was able to shoot in. Very surprised that Chris Johnson was still able to pick up 5 there.
Got to be careful of that. Maybe swinging out to Shazier.
And this is what I don't love. You just picked up an easy 5 yards with Chris Johnson, and now you're already back in the gun bunch formation. Why not stay in that I-form twin tight end? He has no idea how to stop it. You're making life really difficult on yourself, especially when he's already picked 60 with Shazier.
Wilson in the gun here on 2nd and 5. Using a whole bunch of time. Hands it off to Chris Johnson. He tries to stretch it out. Juice box. Back inside, and this is going to be close.
3rd and 1. It looks like he's going to be coming back out in a 3 wide receiver set. Probably going to see a run play here. Out of which formation, we don't know.
Needs a yard. Back to the bunch.
Looks like he's going to air it out.
You can't pass the ball right here.
I would never pass the ball right here, but it looks like he's going to.
Wilson. And he has a wide open.
Oh, he dropped it.
And he can't hang on.
So fluky, bro.
Hacko's calling for the fluke. Look at that smile on Civil's face. You know, he just laid the boom.
That was a phenomenal lurk right there. Able to get a hit stick right there. And I'll tell you why he dropped that ball. It's because his name's Jeff Swaim, and he's not very high cap, very low OVR player. That guy's not really supposed to get the ball on Nickhacko's offense. He's normally supposed to be in the block. He sends him out for a route, and this fullback dive will not work against this defense. That's one thing I can promise you.
And they'll hand it off to Chris Johnson. He'll try to fall forward. He won't get there.
Wow! Mo flying the defense. How'd you know he'd blow it up like that? I have seen that fullback down for time and time again. And Civil, I mean, if that's on Ace Madden somewhere, I might need to sign up. That was huge.
So a turnover on down. Civil's going to have it at the 35-yard line of Nickhacko.
Looks like he's going to have some space here on this inside zone.
And that's where he'll go. And Chris Johnson fights his way to the 34.
And I didn't love the motion right there. It looked like he might have taken a blocker out of the play instead of helping him. You know, I would like to see him motion that other wide receiver. Looked like it would have gave him some more space out there. It looked like he did have the space, but he kind of took the numbers advantage away from himself.
And the reason he goes to that motion, he's just trying to disguise the formation because he has the touch pass and he has the inside zone, trying to keep Hacko off balance. But like Mo said, didn't work right there. No dice.
2nd and 9. Little hitch. He'll pass lead him up.
And that's that pass lead ability. You know, he picks up 8 yards right there instead of picking up 3 or 4. Just that ability can make a difference. I love how he's incorporated into his offense.
He's going to take this all the way down to the 2-minute warning, I assume.
Unless he sees something.
Needs a yard. No reason to rush it. And he will take it to the 2-minute warning. 4-point ball game here with 2 minutes to go.
And he has the perfect offense for this situation. There's just enough time where he has his full playbook open to him. He doesn't need to rush anything. And, you know, if you're Nickhacko, I cannot believe you passed on 3rd and 1 right there. I understand you got to drop, but that completely ruined all your momentum, and then you got stuffed on 4th down. This is a really good situation for Civil.
3rd and 1 from the 26. Field goal won't get it done.
Great route.
And swings it outside as his fullback. And that's enough to move the chains.
And it looked like he had a touchdown on that post. It just looks like he just wasn't comfortable throwing it on 3rd and 1, but he did have the touchdown in the corner of the end zone.
And that's that tight end, and that's Ingram. That's not a low cap tight end. That's a legitimate threat at the tight end position. Like Mo said, though, just missed him, did Civil.
And Hacko's had to use a timeout.
Yeah, you never want to use a timeout when the clock stopped in the 4th quarter. Really tough situation, but you're 1 stop away from winning this game, so get it by however you can.
Well, that's the crazy thing. I think the clock was on the move. And it's a screen machine, and that's going to push it back to the 33.
That's what Nickhacko's needed. This is a guy that has built his defense off of applying the pressure, hasn't been able to get to Aikman, but that time dials it up, and that's a big sack.
Nickhacko blitzes 73% of the time. That's the 3rd highest in the tournament.
Looks like he's taking a shot here. Just trying to catch Nickhacko sleeping.
Going for glory.
So after the 3rd sack of the game for Hacko, here comes Civil. Swings it outside, and it's picked off. Ryan Shazier.
Come on, Shazier.
And he's still running.
Look at that flex right there from Nickhacko. That might have been a $10,000 interception. Civil tries to throw the comeback route and get Icky. Got the dive animation, which is usually free money. Instead gets punched in his mouth. Hacko gets the pick off the tip, gets on his horse, and now he's going to try to put Civil away. Luckily for Civil, he's got all 3 timeouts.
1:04 to go after the turnover. They'll stretch it. And Chris Johnson will fight his way to the 41. And here comes that first timeout. That's going to stop the clock with 59 seconds left in the ball game.
1 first down and this game is over.
It has been a roller coaster ride here in the NFC South. And we still got the final of the night. That'll be in the NFC West between Volterax and Trey Kings. That game's coming up next. They go back to Chris Johnson. It's a first down and more. He'll lay down, and it's going to be a win for Nickhacko.
Way to close out that game if you're Nickhacko. Looked like Civil was going to get away with the bad read, but he doesn't. Shazier comes up with the tick pick, and Hacko just gets a first down to seal it. great adjustment there in that fourth quarter to go back to running the ball.
And it's Game of Thrones time. He's going to bend the knee and get out of here, RG.
Best play in football.
I'll be honest, I thought Civil might be the player to beat in the division. Nickhacko says, not so fast, my friend. Big plays leads to a big win, the biggest in his career, as Nickhacko just doubled up his money and got his 15th win in the MCS area. He's now 15-6. Let's take a look at how Nickhacko got it done in this battle against the Buccaneers' own Civil. And here in the first quarter, after a 3-0 lead, it was Chris Johnson putting Nickhacko on top.
Troy Apke's just not going to be able to get it done as far as run defense goes. But Civil, with a huge lurk to get himself back in the game, just when I thought it was over, but Nickhacko goes to the pass when he probably didn't need to, let Civil back in the game.
Even when Civil's yelling, he's still smiling. And he was smiling after this one, too. Chris Johnson got busy.
Yeah, took it down to the 1. He would tie it up at 10 apiece as we move into the second half, but then is a bomb to John Ross.
Troy Polamalu just too far down in the box, not going to be able to make up the speed there.
This was it right here. This was the $10,000 interception for Nickhacko, and he's a freshman in college at Kent State University. You think he could use a little $10,000 cash infusion when you're a freshman in college?
That's a lot of slushies in the Student Center, I can tell you that. And here is the bracket in the NFC South. Nickhacko is going to be the one representing the division and representing those New Orleans Saints as he will move on. He'll face the winner of either Volt or Trey Kings. And more importantly, he's hanging out with Evan.
Thank you so much, Scott. Well, Nickhacko, congratulations. We were just talking about the name. It's actually your name.
Right.
I relate to that. You know, I kind of go by Rain Day. That's my last name, too. What's the origin of just why you decided to name yourself Nickhacko?
Just I never found another gamer tag that I liked that could just stick. And so, like, they asked me what they want my stage name to be. I just figured I'd just say my name, and just ever since then.
There it is, man. And now you've got a $10,000 win under your belt just now. That's got to feel good. You're in college, that we were talking about, Kent State?
Yeah, correct. $10,000 win. That helped me a lot as a college kid. I mean, just college kids, it's tough to pay for everything, so it's going to help out a lot. I'm super excited about it.
Well, you play with a lot of emotion. Obviously, there's passion involved. And what does it mean for you when you're doing these types of performances, in your position in life, to be able to come here and perform at this level at the clubs? What's going on?
Right. It means a ton. I mean, I've been playing the game for a while, but I could never put it together. I'm just playing off my emotions. It hypes me up and helps me keep playing good.
And has this been something you've always kind of shown when you play? Is this something you develop more? Is this a stage kind of thing? Or is this what you're like back home when you're just playing on your couch?
Not really. I'd say it's more in big games,
Yeah.
on like just leaderboard games and stuff like that. I don't really get too animated. But big games like that, yeah, I'm completely into it.
So, you're representing the Saints. The Saints are doing really well. Is this something that, looking forward to in the rest of the club run, you're excited to be kind of partnering up with this brand? I mean, it's a huge organization doing so well in the NFL right now, and you're obviously doing really well for yourself.
Right, yeah, it means a ton. I mean, I'm super excited to represent the Saints. Everything's been great so far.
Yeah. All right, let's talk a little bit about the game. Your defense really strong. You had a timely interception. Let's take a look at it on the wall. Walk us through this.
So obviously this is late in the game. I'm thinking, to be honest, I don't know what he was doing here. He just put 2 streaks on the field. So I don't know why Denzel didn't get an animation. And then thankfully Shazier was there to catch a tip pick.
All right, while we're at the wall, let's look at the bracket here. Obviously the nice pop off there. That's a guy who knows that might have just been worth $10,000. And of course, coming up, you are going to play the winner of Voltrax or Trey Kings. Both run-heavy styles. How are you looking at those matchups and what you're going to have to do or adjust when you play them?
Right. I mean, just go back to the run defense. Try to prepare a little bit more this time for it. And then, just be ready for them, because I know they're both going to run the ball a lot and play defense, so I'll be ready for it.
Awesome, man. Well, it seems like you got a good thing going for you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Congratulations on moving on.
Thank
Huge
you.
win for Nickhacko, the college student, now just 10 grand richer. All right, 3 teams in the NFC have players safely in the conference semifinals. When we come back, we find out who will be our 4th. Coming up, it's Voltrax of the Arizona Cardinals going head-to-head with Trey Kings representing the San Francisco 49ers. It's the NFC West Final. final when we return one last time to the Madden NFL 20 Club Championship presented by Snickers.